So I'm going to show you how to make one of my simplest festive recipes. It's the cheesy turmeric star. Fantastic for snacking. It's actually in the November-December issue of Earle Wellbeing magazine from 2020. Super easy, and it's really good for using up leftover bits of cheese as well. Just needs a few ingredients: butter and flour to make the base. So I've used self-raising flour here. I've got 50 grams of a good quality organic self-raising flour, or you could use plain flour with a teaspoon of baking powder if you needed to get the self-raising bit. Then you just rub in some nice butter. This is an organic salted butter, 25 grams of butter like that, and you just make it into breadcrumbs basically. So it's like a crumb mixture, just with your fingertips, the flour and the butter. Then into that we're going to put some turmeric. So I'm going to use a teaspoon of turmeric. This is going to give it the beautiful golden colour. So it just turns them into golden stars. Nice generous teaspoon. And then to help activate the turmeric, it's always good to use a little bit of black pepper. So I'm going to use a grind of black pepper. I'm not going to use extra salt because I'm going to get the salt naturally from the cheese, plus it's salted butter, so I think we're fine. You don't want to make them too salty. Now when it comes to the cheese, again, this is a really good recipe for using up remnants of old cheese. You can pretty much use any cheese. You know, you could use a hard cheese like Parmesan, you could use Gouda, Edam, cheddar, whatever. I'm going to use one of my favourite cheddars, which is actually produced down in the West Country, not a million miles from my farm, and it's called Godminster. And honestly, if you have not tried Godminster cheddar, it is absolutely delicious. It's really good. So this is going to be quite an indulgent version of the recipe. So I'm going to use 100 grams of grated cheese, or you could have a mixture. You know, if you've got some remnants of different types of cheese to use, you could use a goat's cheese if you wanted. You could even use a blue cheese if you wanted to give it, you know, a little bit more depth of flavour. So 100 grams is going in here. It's actually quite a lot of cheese. Whoops, quite crumbly. It's because it's been in a nice warm kitchen. And then you're going to use a variety of different star cutters to cut star shapes. I mean, don't have to be stars, you could make them into hearts or even just squares, doesn't really matter, but I think for Christmas it's quite nice to have little star shapes. So I've got my 100 grams there. So I'm literally going to mix these together. So, and that's all the ingredients, okay? So I'm using quite a lot of turmeric, as you can see in here, so it's made it go a lovely golden colour. It's a really simple recipe. It's really nice for the kids to do. If you wanted to, you could turn them into cheesy straws, turmeric cheese straws. You could use it as a much larger piece of cheesy shortbread that you could serve alongside other things if you wanted other recipes. And then just really using the warmth of your hands, that should be enough just to pull it all together into like a dough, which you can then roll out. And you want to roll it so it's about 2 centimetres thick, so you can then cut it into different shapes and roll it out onto a floured surface. So I'm going to gather all that together and then pop some flour on my surface here. And then roll it out. There we go. And then you need to cook this for not very long, but quite hot. So around 200 degrees, what's that in Fahrenheit? 400. So 200 centigrade, 400 Fahrenheit, that's about gas mark 6. But it will literally take about maximum 10 minutes, so keep an eye on it because you don't want to burn, especially if they're small. So these are my cutters here, and you can do a variety of large star shapes, little weeny ones here. I'm going to use this cutter, and then for the leftover bits of pastry that you have, you can just roll it out together. You know, you can just scoop it all up and continue rolling it. And so basically you just want to fill up your baking tray. I've used a little bit of silicone baking parchment at the bottom here, so otherwise you just grease your tray and just lay out the stars on there. Bake them, as I say, in a hot oven for about 10 minutes or so, And these are some that I made earlier. And they are absolutely delicious. So I've got my large stars, my little spiky stars, and my little regular ones here. And oh, they are really good. I hope you enjoy them. The recipe is below if you want to click the link.